I want to look at assumption problems and talk about how we can look at them differently. Now, this is going to be especially helpful for students that are just starting out with critical reasoning and studying for the GMAT here, right? And usually we see a question like this for assumptions, right? We read that question first and we identify it as an assumption question, something like, which of the following is an assumption on which the argument depends? The conclusion is properly drawn if which of the following is assumed. So a lot of times when first starting out, students think to themselves, okay, I just need to find an assumption. That's what I need to find here. But that's not what the question is asking us. The question is asking, which of the following is an assumption that must be true for the conclusion or for the argument to also be true? A way I like to think about this is when I say to myself instead, which of the following must be there for the conclusion to hold up? And how I explain this to students is thinking about it as a beach house, right? Someday I want to own a beach house, that'd be awesome. But when I get my beach house, I'm going to elevate it with stilts. I want to make sure that it's not susceptible to floods, that it will hold up in storms, right? So I get these stilts and I put my beach house on stilts to keep it safe. Now think about the conclusion or the argument as the house. And think about the assumptions of an argument as the stilts here. The whole thing with this is, if you think to yourself, okay, well, these assumptions or these stilts, they must be there. Because if they're not there, the conclusion or the house is going to fall apart. It's easy to think about it this way and say, okay, well, I need to find one of those assumptions. I need to find an assumption that must be there for the conclusion or for the argument to hold up.